Hi Greenfield families, and welcome to another episode of G Talk. Today we're going to be talking a bit about how S.E.L, or social and emotional learning, can help to boost career readiness. I'd like to introduce my two guest speakers today. We have Miss Maria, who is one of our beloved TOK teachers from GC, and Huang Vu, who is our career counselor for GC.
Hello everybody, my name is Huang and I will be the head counselor for GC beginning this year, and I'm very happy to be with Tara and Maria today.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm the deputy head of GC and one of the TOK teachers this year.
Students often struggle with post-high school coursework and can lack the social and emotional skills that are needed to really thrive in a professional environment once they leave school. Whether students are choosing a trade school or to do an apprenticeship or choosing a traditional university or college, we still need to prepare them for success. College and career readiness depends on academic readiness, of course, but this is only part of the equation. S.E.L, or social and emotional learning, is also just as important. Developing students' social and emotional skills has been proven to help increase academic performance and provide a solid foundation for students when they enter into secondary education or the workplace. Today we're going to talk about just how to do that. Let's start off by discussing exactly what social and emotional learning is. S.E.L involves the processes through which students and adults acquire and effectively apply the knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary to understand and manage their emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. From your experience, what do you think students struggle with most when they leave school and go into a tertiary education or the workplace?
My experience, that would be the adaptability of a student, because they are transitioning from the high school environment to a higher education environment and also the workplace, because they have to apply their knowledge into the workplace and also in the environment. In the university environment, they have to advance their knowledge to a new level. So that is why sometimes it is hard for them to change the way they have been doing the whole time to another level.
So as Huang said, I think it's a very difficult transition for many of them. Sometimes they don't have the soft skills they need to build meaningful relationships and to overcome the difficulties of a real life scenario.
Thank you so much for your answers. I think another point that is really important is that when students do leave school, the sense of discipline can also tend to fall away a bit. Whereas before, when maybe they had their teachers following up on them, or even parents following up on them all the time, that's not always the case when they go into university. When you're in a class full of 300 students, discipline can become non-existent. So what effect can these issues that we have spoken about have in terms of their success with their careers or academic path?
Like I just said, adaptability is one of the main issues when students changes from a high school environment to a higher level, like university and workplace. So if they stubbornly stay in their way, they do not adapt, it will most likely lead to failure, and sometimes it leads to the worst case scenario, to be trauma that they will carry for the rest of their life. But with S.E.L, I believe that they can learn that failure is just another step to succeed, that sometimes you have to fail to become a successful person in the future.
Well, I think happy people are successful people. So if the students have all the support structure they need to succeed in their lives and careers, they will be both happy and successful. So I think really sometimes we underestimate the power of a healthy emotional life, but it's important that we pay attention to it.
Absolutely, and I think this can also lead to a lot of confusion where students enter university and maybe they are in a subject that they didn't really feel confident about taking, and if they're struggling in this, it can lead to failure, as Huang said, and with SEL and hopefully having that social and emotional skill set, they're able to overcome that and still be resilient and persist through. One of the most important social and emotional skills that students need is the understanding that they can actually succeed. Their belief in their ability to succeed can impact how successful they can become. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
The first thing we teach at career counseling in GC is that you have to define who you are as a person. Once you know who you are as a person, that is a strong base for you to develop yourself, to have the self-confidence to stride forward without losing yourself. And if that is not enough, one of my advice to the student if they lost themselves in the future is that sometimes the brains will tell you that you cannot do it, you are not enough. You need to shut the voice down. Look at the past. Look at the past scenarios that you have overcome before, and say to the brain, no, I can do this. I have done this before. I have conquered this mountain before, and then do it.
There is no doubt that self-confidence is key in the future of our students. And I think as educators, it is our responsibility to give them all the tools they need to find out who they are, explore who they are, what they want, and how they will get there. I really believe that if they believe that they can do big things, they will do big things.
So when students leave school for the first time, they are opened up to so many different opportunities, some that can propel them in the right direction or others that can hold them back and potentially cause them harm. How can students develop self-management and responsible decision-making skills that can prepare them for life outside of school?
So about this question, the thing I want to highlight is that the students are constantly learning. They are even learning more outside of school than at school. So to develop the self-management and responsible decision making, I would say that you should join the events and the activities that Greenfield are pushing up every week or even every day, because then they can develop the soft skill. For example, the Greenfield Student Council campaign that we did some time ago, it was a very successful event, right? And the students who took part in that event, they had to think for themselves. They had to think how they present themselves to the school, and what responsibility awaits them after they had been elected as a student council. So that is a soft skill that the employer outside of school wants them to have. So again, take part of the activities and events that Greenfield is pushing for the students.
So, well, as parents and educators, I think we need to encourage the students to practice their independence every day. Just with little tasks at home that they can do on their own. In TOK, for example, we always try to give the students the opportunity to work on their own, to take an active role in their learning. And I think, that is something that we need to encourage every day.
This way, they will have experience working towards a goal and will be more likely to stay in course in the future. What tips do you have to encourage students to think about their futures and to set achievable goals?
Okay, so the first thing the students need to acknowledge is a change happening around them. Change is constant. So it's change constant, and it's happening whether with you or not. So change can come as positive or negative. Like for example, yesterday you didn't know a skill, but then today you learn a new skill. That is a positive change. But also a negative change can happen. So yesterday you didn't have a bad habit, like waking up late, and then today you have the bad. You just woke up late, and it will happen for another week, another day. So S.E.L. and career readiness is all about making positive change and reduce the negative change. So now think about that, and that for the next 5 to 10 years, what positive change do you want to have in the future? And I would say that university is a safe invest into the future, because you gain the knowledge, you gain a certificate, you gain the context that can help you in the future and in the future goals.
Well, we all know that achieving our goals takes time and effort. But I think the most important piece of advice that I will give someone is not to stress. We need time, we need dedication, but we have to take it one day at a time. The second one would be create a journal, start a journal. Writing down your goals and all the steps that you need to take to get there is very helpful. It will also help you reflect on what you've done. The third one would be set realistic goals. Make sure that you understand your context so you can really achieve and measure what you want to accomplish.
Thank you both so much for providing such insightful answers on our topic today of how social and emotional learning can boost career readiness. I think it is obvious that S.E.L can really have such a positive impact on academic success when students leave school. Not only, as we said, with the academics, but also with the social and positive emotional aspects of their lives. Thank you again for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Bye, thank you.